Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Continuing with Rin's story. Since in the last episode we came to her story by the choices that I made. And now we're actually going to do it again. Sorry if you can hear the music in the background, but I'm digging it. So let's load right here. I wanted to make it so that you can just look at it without thinking. Then I realized it doesn't make any sense. So it became something like a mix of this and that. From far away, it looks like someone vomited a herd of butterflies on the wall, which is exactly what that obnoxious president person didn't want. Is that word that? What word? That. What is the word for more than one butterfly? Butterflies? No, like a herd or a school or a heap. Oh, I don't know. A flock, maybe? Nah, dude. It's called a swarm. Maybe people like butterfly vomit. Rin looks at the mural, looking surprisingly unhappy. The middle could be better. Usually I like it in betweens, but this was a pain in my butt. No, literally, of course. Then again, I did get that too. Oh shit! God damn it! I guess it was literally after all. Don't be so critical of yourself. She looks at me funnily, then but shuts up. At about this point, I start thinking if I should really leave or do something more constructive with my Sunday. This is a pinnacle of social failure. A whole free day, a festival right outside my doorstep, and what do? I sit here with Rin, two bystanders with nothing to do except to think about what a pity it is to be just a bystander. 1 second. Even realizing how pitiful it is, I don't do anything. I don't stand up and take off for a day of fun. Shuffle, shuffle. Fidget, shuffle. Rin is shuffling about restlessly, constantly swinging one leg over the other knee and then back again. She has a very irritated look on her face. Something wrong? Yes, no, yes. She suddenly hops to her feet. Surprising. I thought she was still rendered immobile, but apparently that's not the case. I have to go find Emmy or someone. I need some help with something. I can help you. No, it's okay. One of us has to stay here in case something happens. Don't be ridiculous. Nothing even remotely interesting has happened since I came here, except that one guy who dropped a snow cone on his foot. Let me help you since I'm bored. So what is it? And now for the most fucking one of the most bootleg lines in this game. Rin's lips flatten against each other into an almost perfectly horizontal line. She closes her eyes and draws in a deep breath. When she opens her eyelids, the frighteningly stern look in her dark eyes takes me aback. Hisao, you might not want to hear this, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, and even if it would, you are not leaving me any choice. I'm having my period, and I need some help regarding that. However, I don't feel that our relationship is yet on a level where I can allow you to pull my underwear down in the girls' toilet, even if you offer to. LOL. That's why you should stay here while I go and look for Emmy. As blood rushes to my cheeks like the rising tide the rising tide, my brains try to desperately search for an answer. Hold on. But the only thing I can think of is how that was the most coherent thing I've heard coming out of Rin's mouth during these 4 days I've known her. Yes. Not wanting to meet Rin's eyes, turn my face aside, pretending I'm looking at someone's parents. From the corner of my eye, I see Rin turning on her heel and walking off without further ado. I feel like going to hide under some rock. I wonder how long Rin will be gone, or if she will return at all. She does return eventually, appearing seemingly out of nowhere and sitting back to where she was, next to my place. I'm back. She says it flatly, like my blunder never happened. I'd prefer to forget the whole matter as well, so I keep quiet. 1 second. I have to send a text message. Okay. And I also need to get comfortable. And there's something bothering my eye. This recording is going lovely so far. Okay, I'm good. Need to move this soda can that is unopened and my fucking PS3 controller, and then lie myself down. Time passes and stands still. The sun gleams from high above the main building. It hits me directly in the eyes, but I just squint instead of moving. In a bit, it becomes painful to keep my eyes open just a little, and my temples start aching. Ugh. I need to grab my pillow so I have something to fucking lever myself with. My head hurts. I think this day gave me a headache. Can you believe it? Are you angry? Are you hungry? How is that related to headache? When you don't eat, you get headaches, dipshit. Hold up. Ugh. It's not. I ask because I am. It's not. I ask because I am. Her oblivious seriousness melts my irritation with its ridiculousness, and I find the corners of my mouth turning slightly upwards again. You know what? So am I. I'll go get some food for us. What do you want? My treat. Doesn't matter. Returning with the food, I give one portion to Rin, taking the other for myself and dig in without a word. Rin looks upwards, a fork hanging out the corner of her mouth. What are clouds? I always thought they were thoughts of the sky or something like that, because you can't touch them. You thought like that when you were a kid? No, last week. Maybe because sometimes my thoughts feel like clouds, fluffy and white and slow. Like the sky was in my mind. Like my mind was the sky. The sky of your mind? Close your eyes and think of the sky. You won't be able to think of anything else until you stop. I try. It works. Magic? Opening my eyes, I see Rin studying me with her eyes. It feels uncomfortable because she doesn't say anything. I turn away. Clouds are water. Evaporated water. You know, they say that almost all of the water in the world will, at some point of its existence, be part of a cloud. Every drop of tears and blood and sweat that comes out of you, it'll be a cloud. All the water inside your body, too, goes up there sometime after you die. It might take a while, though. Your explanation is better than any of mine, because it's true. That must be it. Uno momento. I carry on eating the food before it gets cold. The wall offers a bit of blessed shade as the sun revolves around the dome of the sky. But the afternoon is already slowly making way for the evening, so our lunch becomes more of a dinner, or whatever the word is for an irregular meal like this. Despite what I decided to call it, it certainly hits the spot. Haven't eaten a bit since forever. My appetite filled, I let out a satisfied sigh. Rin hasn't eaten all of hers, but seems to be done with her food as well. I lean back, taking in the atmosphere. The crowd has thinned already, but the activities are still going. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. And why not? It's warm. The kind of perfect summer day when it's hot, but not too hot for comfort. The sun will set soon. Time really has flown by. We've been sitting here for 6 hours. Yes, we have. Do you want to do something else now? No, not really. Me neither. She adjusts her position and leans against the wall, and I follow her lead, relaxing my own body. For minutes on, we sit there without saying a word. I'm trying to feel Rin's mood from her demeanor, the tension of her muscles, the tiny expressions fleeting on her face. It's no use. She's unreadable as always. Oh, God. Static figures. The crowd swells to and fro, people happily chatting with each other. Very few people pay real attention to the mural, and even less to us. I fiddle with a few odd pebbles absent-mindedly. The act of doing something just for the sake of doing something, the pinnacle of idleness. Inch by inch, the sun creeps lower and lower towards the tree line, changing the color of the sky close to the horizon from golden yellow to orange and red as the moment of sunset draws near. Feel like my stomach is filled with lead after eating so heavily, but the brick wall feels surprisingly comfortable against my back. Try to fight against the drowsy feeling that is overwhelming me, but to no avail. I wake with a start. A low boom reverberates through the school grounds after images of bright sparks flash through my vision like stars. Something rises towards the skies from the direction of the sports field. A tail of fire trails behind it until a burst of red and yellow flame lights the sky high above the school with another loud boom. Oh, God. Lag! Oh, wait, fireworks. The sudden flash of light against the canvas of the night sky awakens me to realize that it's actually dark already. How long did I sleep? I feel groggy and I can't feel my right arm. I attempt I as I attempt to flex it, I realize why. Rin is leaning heavily against my shoulder, almost falling on my lap. She is fast asleep, not even phased by the fireworks. Her mouth is slightly open and her eyes are peacefully closed, a sleeping childlike face of the innocent. Shake her in gently with my free arm, trying to wake her up, or failing that, move her so that my other arm is liberated from its pinch. Rin's face twitches and her eyelids shut tighter, as to resist against waking up. She gradually opens her eyes, but keeps them half closed, letting the light from the fireworks sneak just past her eyelashes, so that her green irises mirror the bright flashes of the explosion. Then looks up at me and frowns. Just a while longer, okay? Rin's voice is drowsy and slow, leaving her almost unintelligibly muttered words hanging lazily in the air. It seems she is not entirely aware of the situation. Rin's head drops back on my shoulder as she leans against me with all her weight. She snuggles against my side, trying to make herself comfortable, but making me feel very uncomfortable at the same time. Dude, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable at all. You got a decently cute chick. Actually, I should say just cute chick resting on your shoulder. I wouldn't complain. I become intensely, almost painfully aware of Rin's warm body and the deep, peaceful movement of her chest against my arm. Her breathing soon returning to the even rhythm. Can't help admiring her gift for sleeping, or the ease of mind of hers to use someone she has known for less than a week as a pillow. The rockets rise up to the sky one at a time, breaking into flowers of red, green, and gold, accompanied by the ohs and ahs of the audience. Try to push Rin's disconcerting proximity out of my mind for what I can do about it. I just hope her short while. I just hope her short while really is that. One by one, the glittery bursts are born and die in a blink of an eye, coloring the dark night sky into a constantly changing abstract painting. I listen to the low booms of the explosion and Rin's quiet breathing, trying to clear my own head of the post-awakening disorientation. Thankfully, just a while longer really proves to be just a while as Rin stirs from her slumber and wakes up again before the fireworks are over. I fell asleep. She finally opens her eyes completely and blinks a few times. You fell asleep on top of me. Twice. You didn't like it? Well. Despite the inconclusive stammering, Rin sits upright, drawing herself away from me. Well, you are heavy. It's a lie. She weighs next to nothing, but I have to get a jab back at her, even if it's under the belt. My mock protest fails to draw any reaction as Rin's attention draws upwards to the flashes of the fireworks. She seems hypnotized by the colorful play of the explosions. A slight tingling sensation goes up and down my arm as blood starts to circulate again. It's unpleasant, but it helps me to get rid of this dizzy feeling. More and more rockets rise up to the sky, the bright colors of their explosions reflecting from the clouds. Both of us stare at the fireworks fixedly through the canopy of the trees, enthralled by the show. We would get a vastly better view of the sky if we moved even a couple of yards, but neither of us bothers to even suggest it. Hold on. Speaking of tingling feeling going up and down my arm, that's what I have. Right now. Wait, I didn't even read it. I really do like fireworks, even though looking at them makes me feel kind of sad, I think. It's like they want you to look at them so bad, so they are loud and bright, but when someone looks, they are already gone. It's like they were not even real. They are real, I can tell you that. All of this, real, you know? If you think about it, nothing really lasts for long. Even something like my life or yours is just a blink of an eye in the history of everything. Like one of those rockets. Poof, and we're gone. But we're here, aren't we? Yeah, this is reality. Rin sitting next to me, the loud bangs of the fireworks, the vast, unlimited sky. These things are definitely real, even though they won't stay here forever. I feel warm inside. I wonder if it's because Rin is so close to me or just the feeling of being alive. Don't really know what I should say next. It's alright. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. But you know, fireworks are pretty. But in the end, it isn't somehow silly to spend so much money on a fraction of a second worth of pretty sparkles. Rin rips her gaze off the still ongoing spectacle and leans backwards, looking at me with a repulsed face. Wow, I never expected you to be such a cynic. Cynic is a pretty harsh word. Rather than that, I think myself as a realist. Isn't a realist just the word for what a cynic calls himself? The final rocket goes out with a bang of silver and blue, leaving the grounds eerily silent for a moment until the crowd starts moving towards the main gate like a cattle herd. Wisps of gray smoke drift towards the dorms from the sports field. The pungent, sulfurous smell of gunpowder it carries along feels like it sticks to my hair and clothes. Was that it? I think so. I stand up and stretch my sore back. Sleeping against a brick wall wasn't such a good idea after all. Rin stands up as well and turns to face me with an expectant gaze on her tired features. Although she seems to have trouble focusing her eyes, she is looking straight at me. Something I feel has not occurred too often in the past week. So I suddenly realize we have been almost on a date here, as if by accident, even if we did nothing. But it wasn't. So why blood is rushing to my cheeks and my speech stammering? I don't know. Fuck. I think I'm sorry, guys. I just think I fucked up that. But it wasn't. So why blood is rushing to my cheeks and my speech stammering? I think it's supposed to be why is. I don't know what I should say, especially since it seems Rin is waiting for me to say something. But luckily, she solves my problem for me. Good night, Asao. She gives me one more lingering look, measuring me from tip to toe, turns around and on her heel and skips off, disappearing into the crowd. Okay, good night. I'm left standing there, giving my response to the cooling night air. Sigh. The festival turned out to be nothing like I expected. I ended up spending all day in one spot with Rin, even though neither of us agreed on it, nor suggested that we do anything. I just didn't have anything better to do, and evidently neither did she. Rin's warmth lingers for a while longer in my body before disappearing into the falling night. And yes, we reached Rin's story after all. Act 2, Disconnect. Bow, 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 bow. It's already 8:30, but this morning's class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher is nowhere to be seen. I had known this beforehand. I would have, if I had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly, the classroom door slams open and Matao grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone. Matao looks like he has not slept at all. He looks the same way he does every fucking day. The stubble is messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than a favorable expression. Guess he had fun last night at the festival too. Excuse my being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, these sorts of events are important for you all, since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with favorites disagrees of enthusiasm, and Matao proceeds to take roll and get started. Right then, today's subject is photon particle physics. Before long, I have descended into a comfortable coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Matao's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who would tell us the solution to this problem? Oh, God damn it. He's written a rather easy equation on the blackboard, desperately. He tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact that he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Matao has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in the class, and most of them have been here since the first year. 1 second, I need a drink. Oh, and I need to rub the sleep out of my head. Because I slept for like so fucking long after getting home from work. Even though, like 2 hours is not that long of a sleep, it still is pretty long for me. To take a nap of 2 hours when usually my naps consist of like maybe 30 minutes to an hour at best. good to be awake, though. Hold on. Ugh. I need to pause the recording. Okay, I'm back. The room settles into a dreary mood. Students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. Figured last week must have been frantic for everyone. Hold up. Ugh. I also need to open my drink. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings. Make way, important business. Turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. It's too late to realize that I'm standing in the middle of the corridor, directly in the way of the oncoming human projectile. Try to skip backwards towards the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in a sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognize that the girl who is on the collision course with me is Emmy. Second, I realize that this feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I could feel almost comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was a grazing one on my arm this time. Howie, why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder. Could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerges from my lips. But I was in a hurry. I can tell. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. The printouts! Oh no, what am I gonna do? The teacher will give me hell if they get dirty. They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was. Where are you going? Nowhere in particular, I guess. I didn't want to be left alone with Matao in the classroom. Think he has a hangover. Exactly! Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. You should go to the roof. I promised her I'd eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like company. Uh-oh, my lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard to not get drawn along, so I have a little choice but to play ball. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further. Oh no, I'll go deliver these super quick and then go buy lunch for us. And Rin, too, of course. What kind of bread do you like? It's fine, you really don't need to. Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it. That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. I won't. Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise to me. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. Stairwell up to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. Thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you laying on your back on the rooftop? 1 second. I want to cover my fucking legs with my blanket because it's fucking cold and I'm wearing shorts. She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. Trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason that people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles. I don't want riddles I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy. God damn it. One little movement and I mispress. Way too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things, like watching the sky. She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes once she focuses them on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I could see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you are not a girl. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Yeah, that's exactly how I think about them, too. What a coincidence. It really is. So did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class to do this. Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think that what I'm doing doesn't look like what I look like. But from your perspective, probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving in to the tired feeling of my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. Bend my neck backwards to take a look where she is looking. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep, fills my head of my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep it as still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort and myself instead of concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say, thus silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to be honest, no, but it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize the summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of a time I spent in the hospital where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sights to the other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake, like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it is heading to. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something that you like every once in a while? Of course, but what are you doing? Emmy has snuck up on us without either noticing it, and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. Ah! She leans forwards and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed Rin before. Wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked, too. I would be more concerned about what you're doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. Rin! Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backward, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she is carrying fall. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends to not see me. Hisao isn't like that, right? Right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lithely around me to Rin's other side where she sets herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while. That's alright. Thanks for treating me. Pull myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. Un momento. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and it readily fills my stomach. 1 second, I need to set up my backrest. Shit. Almost dropped my mic. The hell is touching my leg that's cold? Oh, the little clip thing. I follow from the corner of my eye the skill in with which Rin handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a few days. Alright, I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with. So you've been doing something else? I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. We barely finish the lunch before the bells ring, calling us back to our classrooms. Oh my god, will you leave me alone? Misha waves at me as soon as I enter, and it starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. How was your festival? Did you have fun? Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? It was just asking. Her eyes glint in a way that tell me that she's not just asking. Can't even start to guess her motives though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with Shi-chan, and we had a lot of fun. Weren't you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. Don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at it from here, through the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue. Everything else is a clutter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Thick, hot afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag it 2 doors down the hallway to the art classroom. Maybe this is the part of the reason why I didn't join any clubs before. Afternoons just aren't suited for activity. I knock on the door of the art classroom and open it. A girl who was possibly doing something important with the scroll of paper she's carrying turns to reckon me and smiles in a sweet, if a bit confused manner. Hello? Is it just me, or does her ear seem like really misplaced? Like it doesn't belong. This is the art club, right? Yep, you interested in joining? Yeah, in fact. I might already have done so, but we'll see. I give her a weak smile and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Great. Have a seat then. We'll start when the teacher gets here. Without even scouting the room for a good spot, hold on. I'm gonna rest the mic on my chest so I can just relax myself. There we go. Without even scouting the room for a good spot, I walk quickly to the back of the room and settle myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats, waiting for the teacher. Rin sits alone in a window seat, looking outside. She's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really gotten along with from my own classes here, too. Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later. So I just settle for silent observation as well. One boy has glasses on, an odd sight indoors. Were we not at Yamaku? I bet he's the blind student Rin was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Hello, Mr. Pink Jackets. Namiya walks over to stand behind his desk in 3 long strides, and then gives a smile from a flamboyant greeting and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone. First things first, Hisao there is a new member, so everyone get along with him. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answering his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except with some intelligible murmurs, which Namiya apparently interprets as unanimous approval. Alright then, everyone not working on other projects, choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we can continue it next time, or even do it again if you find it interesting. Remember to pay attention to lighting and shadow, and give it your best. Pairing up. I feel pretty awkward about it. Hardly knowing anyone here, I wish someone would ask me to be their partner. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. Pretty soon everyone else has paired off, friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, there is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Since she's the only other one without a partner, I walk to her seat. I can see her face because her hair is covering most of... I can't see her face because her hair is covering most of it, and she's looking away from me. Rin? I call out to her, no response. Hey, want to partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who is addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with. It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? She doesn't look at my face, and instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Oh, okay, why not? Okay, good. Great. I'll get the stuff for us. Looking at the equipment Namiya has prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of graphite or pencils, we are apparently supposed to do ink sketches. Never done anything like that before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my abilities to adapt to this medium. Simple. First you do the outlines in ink, let them dry, and then you shade with the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines. Got it. I pick up paper, water cups, one pen for me, one brush for Rin, and ink for both of us, then return to Rin. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I see myself directly opposite of her. Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth? That sounds very sexual. Just saying. What did you say? She tilts her head, her brows forming questioning arches, as if she didn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. You'll look better if I do it with my foot, though. With your foot, then, if it's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In two fluid motions, she picks up the paper sheet and drops it on the floor, then snatches the brush between her toes before sitting it on the floor in a weird half-cross-legged position. Although I have seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, this display of dexterity is so prodigious that I just stare at her, stunned. Rin contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. What kind of pose? Doesn't matter, that's the point. You have to make a sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand. And I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her and she looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing but impressive, as if she's trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confident, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potentially destructive consequences of an accidentally misplaced stroke. After she's happy with the outline, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her back and legs. This time she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm relieved. It's easier to stare at someone when they aren't staring back at you. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured, especially when compared to my partner's skill. I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first day. Rin is not helping the process either. She doesn't stand still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from side to side to judge her drawing, biting at her lower lip, looking unsatisfied, and constantly shuffling around like she was on hot coals. I finally managed to make some headway on my sketch. With my outlines done, we both start inking in the shadow and light. Namaya passes by and remarks on the beginnings of our sketches. Very good. Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get a grasp of. But I didn't choose the pose. I look at him and then at Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed with her work that it seems She has shut me, the classroom, and the entire world itself out from her own little sphere of existence. Every now and then she leans backwards, seemingly to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down until her nose almost touches the paper. This rocking back and forth looks silly. Suddenly Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into the world of her own and speaks. Are you having fun already? She doesn't raise her eyes from the drawing, which is a good thing. The breaking of silence sends a jolt of surprise through me, as if I'm electrocuted. I don't know yet, it's hard to say. Can't hear how she replies to my answer, but it seems as she is suddenly having a private, whispered conversation with her sketch. I don't understand how she can draw so well when she has the attention span of a butterfly. Oh shit, I'm still a little bit tired. Ugh. And my teeth hurt like a motherfucker because I have bad teeth and I need to see a dentist, but I can't afford a dentist, so it kind of sucks. As it seems she lost her interest, I go back to work on my drawing as well. Try to add texture to Rin's hair to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sunlight lights her bright red tussle aflame and transfer it to my paper in shades of black and gray. Somehow this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me up from my despair. What about now? Excuse me? Are you having fun already? Why do you keep asking that? Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. Are you having fun? Is it important that I'm having fun? Yes. Okay, I'm having fun. Good. Oh, 1 second. My eyes are being irritated by something and I don't know what. Should have took it. I shouldn't have took such a long nap because now I'm exhausted. I wonder if I said that just to please her, or if I really meant it. Can't really decide which it was. Alright, 1 second. My eyes are really bothering me. Okay. Drink. Death Star's virtue device. Shit. Hold on. Fuck me. I don't hate this, though. I can honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. As the allotted time to finish the studies quickly ticks away, I desperately try to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I want to start again from scratch, but what would be the point? There's no time for that either. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. Please turn in the drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all next Monday. Shit, it's better than I can fucking draw. I glance at my portrait. It doesn't exactly look like Rin. I guess you could say it portrays her, but that might be a bit generous. The nose and jaw look hideous, and the shading is terrible. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. It's not bad. She sneaks up behind me while I was lost in thought. Damn it, I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait to the teacher without you seeing it. Why? Look at her. She's just like, dude, don't you want me to see how you did? I'm not really happy with it. Wish I could draw better. You just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? Curious myself about how the sketch turned out, I peek at the picture. From the way Rin was drawing, it looked like she was really into it. Damn, she can fucking draw amazingly good. It's excellent. Somehow, the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form an image of my face. From the shape of my chin to the messy hair to the somewhat gloomy expression. Her sketch blows my mind. I don't know. Apparently, according to this, I've only chosen this one, even though I know I've chosen this one. Shit. Gotta pause. Be right back. Did not mean to choose that. Okay, sorry about that. I did not mean to choose this. But I'm using a fucking laptop and I don't have a mouse for it. And holy shit, it's fucking hot in here. Hold on. Okay. Choosing the first one. Boop. Oh, wow, you're amazing. It's not that amazing, but thanks. Take a closer look at her work. Still glistening with a slowly drying ink. You know, I look kind of grim here. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree, but it's also true. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree, but it's also true otherwise, too. Like this you, not the you I made. I do? I think so, at least. Her simple statement makes me suddenly feel incredibly self-conscious. Feel like I need a mirror right now to confirm or debunk Rin. It's a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I hope it's just her. And that I don't look like that sketch to everyone. It's a good sketch, but somehow I get a really oppressive feeling from it. God damn it, I didn't mean to press that. Ugh. I'm still trying to set up my backrest, which consists of a couple pillows and a blanket. Because I record, I don't know if I've said this before in a previous recording, but I record with my laptop on my bed, so I automatically have a way of creating a backrest. It's called pillows and a blanket. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You are really amazing. Thanks. I'm glad I could draw you. You are an interesting person. You're an interesting person too, but that didn't help me much. My self-deprecation has no limits today, but Rin ignores it all. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference with my own eyes is quite humbling. See, I tried to make you look like you think a lot. You did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are like that, right? I want to retort with something snappy, but Namiya gives me no time to think, ushering us to the door. Hurry up, you two. While we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick up our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk before hurrying after Rin, who has already left the classroom. She's not in the hallway, to my surprise. I wonder if she managed to run off in just a... I wonder where she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk more. Well, not that I had much to say, except maybe get back at her for calling me a cynic. It's surprisingly late. I already got used to school ending at the same time every day, so I can feel the extra hours in my head and my gut. Hold on. Something on my mic is just bothering me. There we go. My growling stomach reminds me that I'm absolutely ravenous. I'm so hungry that I dare to try anything the cafeteria staff has deemed edible. Even when I see today's delicacy, fried mystery lumps, my steely resolve doesn't fade. I stuff the dinner down without tasting it at all, which is probably for the best. Don't have much homework to do, but what little I have won't get done by itself, so I stroll toward the dormitories. Oh, no. Why would you knock? He responds from the other side, although I can't make out what he said. I try the door, but it's locked. After several seconds, the lock clicks and he opens the door. Hi, hey, could I borrow a book? The library was already closed after I got away from my club meeting. He is squinting even more than usual, and his eyebrows are twitching nervously. Club? That's dangerous, man. Indoctrination, groupthink, brainwashing, you name it. High school clubs sow the seeds of conspiracy. Do you know how many secret societies have grown from high school clubs? Watch your back and don't get too deep in. You might not come back. Okay, Kenji, so how about that book? Sure, but return them and don't spoil any of my books. No drinks, no food stains, no bodily fluids. Capacy? I don't know. Sure, thanks. Instead of letting me in, he retreats from the door, closing it again. After a few seconds, he returns with a stack of 3 thick books and hands them over to me. Opening the topmost one, a familiar emblem stamped on the copyright page greets me. Your books. These are from the school library? They are now mine. You stole these. What are you talking about, man? I've been liberating these from the oppressive feminist movement that controls the library. Please say oppressive feminist movement doesn't mean that poor librarian girl, Yuko. She couldn't even oppress a wet towel. Kenji turns away, mumbling something I can't make out, and closes the door behind him. Before going to my own room, I enter the bathroom. While washing my hands, my eyes catch my reflection from the mirror above the sink. I try to look for the grimace Rin saw on me, but it's just the usual me inside the mirror that stares back. The attempt to tell myself that this is what I've always looked like, but I realize I don't remember what I looked like. I looked like half a year ago. Oh, my fucking teeth hurt so bad. Wake up all sweaty, as if I had run a marathon in my sleep. I don't recall sleeping badly. It sends a little pang of worry through me. I wouldn't want to have my heart acting up without being able to notice it. Still, apart from this odd exhaustion right after waking up, I'm feeling just fine. My mouth is like sandpaper and I have nothing to drink. So I have to go all the way to the bathroom to take my meds. On impulse, I decide to take a shower while I'm at it. While I'm in the shower, I make up my mind that this counts as morning exercise. If I properly compensate with a nice half-hour walk after school. 1 second. How much time am I fucking working with? Oh yeah, we're ending this here.